Yeah, so let's begin. So we have computer support. We also have cybersecurity. We have another career path you can take in data science and analytics. We have networks and systems. We have cloud computing, software development, and user experience. Um, Normally call it UI UX, and we also have digital marketing and e-commerce. Right. So in computer support, when you look around USIU, most of the guys you'll encounter they are computer support kind of specialists. We have very few software engineers. Um, so across departments, the people call themselves IT. They are mostly fall under the computer support and or help desk technicians. Yeah, you can call them IT specialists, tech support specialists, or network specialists. So those are the majority you encounter within our corridors. There are very few software engineers around, me included. Yeah, I'm not bragging, but that's a fact. Uh, so they play a crucial role, and one of the things that they do is to ensure that we have smooth operation of different things within the university that are IT related. For example, you have projectors, you have computers that need to be connected and whatnot. We have guys who ensure that we have the sound system and speakers working properly and things like that. Yeah. Some of you have issues with the email and whatnot, so they're the ones who sort that. So generally, they ensure that if we have applications that the users need, they install and whatnot, right? So basically, they offer technical assistance, yeah, to users and also maintain the network, ensure that you get connectivity to the network and the network is good when you're working from home too and you want to access the school resources remotely, the VPN is up and it's working properly. Yeah, they can sometimes fix hardware and software related issues, but then we have some issues that they can't fix, so maybe those ones need to be handled by vendors. So sometimes you hear that, okay, we can't fix this, we need to call the vendor and whatnot. So those are if the issues are complex beyond their job description, then the vendors come in. And then another thing, maybe to optimize the system, just to ensure that the systems work to the optimum level. That's another thing, including the networks and the operating systems and whatnot. Another thing that they have to take care of is security, because nowadays security is key. So they also have to ensure that. So if you have any questions, you can just stop me. I don't know. It's like I had someone joining or leaving. I don't know. It's a question. Yeah. So security management. Um, the, so we have policies in place like password. That's why sometimes you get into school and you get that your password is not working all of a sudden, being asked to change your password and things like that's just one of the things, one of the like password policy plus other policies that might be in place. So they enforce that just to ensure that at the end of the day, the infrastructure is well secured. And of course, we have a number of projects going on. They'll also coordinate those IT related projects within the institution. So basically, that's what a computer support can call engineer or just specialist does in an institution. And then we have and by the way, the computer support technicians and whatnot, they are everywhere. You go to any big company, we still also have computer support engineers there. Any big company, small to big to medium, they are everywhere. So if you are interested in that, maybe yeah, it's not a bad thing to do. So maybe some of the skills, but this I mentioned lots of responsibilities. So what about skills? You just need a few certifications. We have some certifications, Google related certifications in IT support, by the way. If you can check that. I don't know if also EC Council is offering some of IT support certifications. So you just need to know a few of the applications, word related. You need to know how to troubleshoot software and hardware. Yeah, should be a good communicator. Should be able to, just not to talk to your fellow IT support, but also to your clients, because most of them don't understand some of the IT jargon. So you should be able to like simplify everything so that they can be able to understand what the issue is, and maybe how long it will take to resolve and things like that. Yeah. So and you'll understand that communication skill is key, and it cuts across all these roles. So yeah. So that is it, and should be also good at a little bit of networking. Should be able to troubleshoot networks, understand network protocols, a little bit, some knowledge on software, and yeah. So let's move to cybersecurity. So in cybersecurity, we call these guys analysts, and we normally break them into like three tiers. So we have like tier one, tier two, and tier three analysts, and they play a very important role in organization in terms of securing the computer networks, hardware, and software, and generally protecting the organization against cyber threats, data breaches, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so they maintain security. So the three analysts I mentioned, so like tier one, this like entry level. Yeah. So this is like an entry level cybersecurity engineer in most places. And then we have the mid level, which we can refer to as tier two, and then we have tier three, which is like an advanced level, right? Um, so what does tier one entail? Most of the times you go to an organization, and the job you're given as a security engineer or cybersecurity engineer is you just sit before big screens, and your work is to monitor the activity in the network and report any incident that it looks like a dangerous one. So you can report it to tier two, who maybe verifies whether it's a true incident that needs attention, or it's a false positive, something of the sort. So you have this false positive, false negative, and whatever. So you should be able like to know which incident is true, which one is false, and stuff like that. So when you encounter one, you report to tier two, and the tier two can now do some sort of triage to identify whether it's truly an incident or not, and if it's an incident that needs further research to identify what's the intent behind the incident, the intrusion, then that's the work of the tier 3 engineer, who is expected to be quite advanced, to be able to do reverse engineering and stuff like that. So it's upon tier 3 to dissect the the threat. It might be a malware or whatever it is, and be able to tell the intent behind that, and whether it's dangerous or not, and even to help in mitigating that. So yeah, cybersecurity is wide. So what are some of the key responsibilities? So one includes monitoring the network. Maybe tier one will always be sitting before the screens and stuff, and sometimes you can combine tier one and tier two. Yeah, or even we can have one engineer who is both tier one, tier two, and tier three. So you're basically sweeping all the roles. So So besides monitoring the network, you respond to incidences when they occur. You also write reports. You're expected to write reports on the incidences that occurred and report those to the management. Another thing is you're expected to know quite a lot in terms of different security related softwares, and you should be able to install them and configure them properly within the network. Troubleshoot them if they have issues and stuff like that. Just maintaining the software, installing and maintaining the softwares, security related softwares, and then of course identify in always you should be aware of the latest vulnerabilities across softwares or that have been reported. Check your system against those vulnerabilities, fix them if you can. If not, of course, you can escalate it to experts to come and help in fixing and stuff like that. You are also in charge of promoting security practices within your organization, including policy formulation, security policy formulation, and enforcement, of course. Educating people of those policies. Sometimes you have policies in an organization and people even don't know about those policies. Like, I'm sure most of you, uh, if I ask you what are some of the security related policies within USIU, you have no idea. So, but then that's not your mistake. It is something that the security team is supposed to take up and educate you on the policies. I have a session with you once in a while and let you know of the existing policies. Yeah, and of course, one of the most difficult, which is researching on threats and also carrying out risk assessment. Yeah. When you're doing risk assessment, basically as a security engineer, what you're doing is first of all, you identify the assets within the organization, and then you have to categorize them, starting with the most important one. Of course, the most important asset is the one that needs to be secured, needs the highest level of security. So more attention is supposed to be given to the most crucial assets within an organization, because the organization heavily relies on that to generate revenue. So if it is down, then that means the organization is going to lose a lot of revenue. So you have to really protect that. Yeah, and then we have some assets, of course, which you can survive with. If they're attacked, you will not lose a lot, or you will not even have any loss at all. So that's risk assessment generally. So this is a whole topic on its own. So generally, that's what a cybersecurity engineer does. So key responsibilities, I think we've talked about that. Some of the skills that a cybersecurity engineer might need might include things like understanding of cyber threat landscape. That means you have to be informed day in, day out of the current issues or emerging issues to do with malware, ransomware, phishing techniques, and so on and so forth. And you should also be technically proficient in a number of things. For example, in different operating systems, you should be able to work with Windows, Mac, Linux, yeah, because when you're attacked, they can use any avenue. They can use a Windows PC, Linux, and some of those tools you also need them to run your security-related softwares. You should be able to understand firewalls, intrusion detection, and intrusion prevention systems, because those help you to safeguard your network infrastructure. You should be able to understand VPNs and how to set up and configure VPNs properly, proxies, and and of course how to work with the different tools. You need to have like your own toolbox of different tools to use when you're doing penetration testing within your organization. I mentioned communication skill. I'm not going to talk about it. You should be able to communicate to not only to fellow engineers, but to clients and to the rest of your colleagues within the team. And of course, cybersecurity really needs you to continuously learn each and every day, because this field changes day and night, and it's also quite vast. So you can't just say that I acquired CH certification or whatever, CSP, and I'm good. Things change. Today, the skills that you acquired might be obsolete tomorrow, so you always have to keep on updating.
As you continue, do you have questions? Because I know we are almost out of time. If you have questions, just start raising them on the chat.
How many minutes do we have?
For you, 2.
2 minutes.
For you,
Yes.
Okay. I did not know this was going to be that short, but it's fine. Let me
The
just
benefit
rush
is like
through.
140. So you can just, I guess, continue.
Okay. Yeah, and of course you have data science and analytics, and okay. So most this role combines technical and analytical and business oriented responsibilities. So what you needed to do is you're supposed to be able to collect data, clean the data, and of course get meaningful insight out of the data. Yeah, so you should be able to set up like data pipelines, maintain those data pipelines to that extract data, clean data, and of course at the end of the day are able to, you know, run algorithms on the clean data to get meaningful insight out of it. And then you should be able to also communicate the insights in a better way to the stakeholders, that is. Yes, and some of the things that maybe you might need to learn here is model development, because you'll use machine learning to get insight out of the data, to do predictions and stuff like that. Yeah, and you should be able to collaborate, because it cuts across different departments and whatnot. You are collecting data from different departments. You're also supposed to ensure that there is you're compliant to data privacy and data protection, and so on and so forth. So basically that's to do with the data analytics. And then we have network systems. Of course, your major work is to design the network, to implement it, to maintain it, you know, and also optimize the network infrastructure to ensure that the network works efficiently. So that's for network engineering. There isn't much to say about that. And lately we have cloud computing. And what cloud computing is all about is managing and optimizing cloud-based services. So we are shifting most of the things that we did on premise to cloud. Yeah. So in future, I can see a scenario where we might not need network engineers who do the thing, you know, run cables and fix routers and stuff like that. But we might have all this infrastructure moved to cloud, software managing servers and whatnot. We just have everything on cloud. So we need this. It's a field that people are getting in now, and it's growing rapidly. So, and we have so many cloud-based services, by the way, all the way from networks to software related services, hosting and whatnot. Yeah, machine learning. So there's a lot on cloud. Software development, most of you are familiar with this. So we have software development. You can say we have back-end engineers, front-end engineers. Some of the front-end engineers will basically work with the UI UX design, and with the back-end engineers, of course, they will focus on developing APIs and basically the logic of how the application saves data, retrieves data, who is able to access that data, who is not supposed to access the data, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And lastly, we have digital marketing, because you told me I have 2 minutes, so I have to rush through everything. So with the digital marketing and e-commerce, this role entails strategic planning, creative execution, and analytical insights, just to promote the product and service online. Yeah, so you can use social media sites and whatnot to promote the product. So basically that is it. And so if I may just give you a conclusion, is sometimes it is good to start with a role that is more general, especially if you are not yet decided on what exactly you want to specialize in. So for example, if you're doing software development, start with something that exposes you to both front-end development, back-end, so be like a sort of full stack developer. And then later on, you will realize that, okay, maybe I'm not so good with the with the tweaking and designing front end. My color choice, I'm really struggling there. But when it comes to backend, it's I do things flawlessly. So I'd rather be a backend engineer of some sort. So it's something you have to try first before you really decide. Even with networks, you cannot just say I'm not good at networks, but you can try it first and see if you might find that you are good at you fall in love with the cloud computing, and not necessarily the traditional network engineering, where you design and implement network on premise, but you like anything to do with cloud. but then you also need the skills that the network engineers on premise have or need, because those skills are transferable to a cloud-based environment. Yeah, so that is it on my side, unless you have any question for me. I know I rushed through, but I had to stick to the 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. Do you have questions?
I have some questions on the chat. Maybe Sebastian can help answer.
So we have, so how easy or hard is it to land an entry-level cybersecurity job after graduation? Okay. So in Kenya, I think we are still, we don't have a proper infrastructure to absorb cybersecurity engineers. I'll use Kenya as an example. But when you move to Europe, you get that it's so easy to land a job in cybersecurity. Yeah, because most of the organizations already, there is an infrastructure to absorb cybersecurity engineers. Why is it so difficult in Kenya? Is because most organizations, they still have this mentality that, okay, for as long as we've not been hacked, we are good. They are not futuristic in the way they approach their issues. For as long as the business is running and everything is okay, we don't need the security engineers. They've not yet seen the need. Yeah, but the moment they get hacked and then they lose a lot of money and stuff like that, then they will for sure try to set up the cybersecurity in the organization. A good example I can give you, USIU. Before we got hacked, no one saw any need of cybersecurity engineers. But after we were hacked like twice, that's when we saw everyone in the administration running up and down trying to ask how can we resolve this issue so that in future we don't get hacked again. And there's a lot of talk around that. I don't know how far they got with that, but I heard that very soon they'll be setting up a cybersecurity department to a SOC team. Yeah.
Sebastian, can I ask something?
Yes.
So speaking about the school, and okay, can you inquire for us why is it that when putting in the password for the Wi-Fi, we use HTTP instead of HTTPS, even though HTTP is not encrypted? Don't anyone in the school think that it might be a security risk in case, let's say, someone with admin privileges the password and then the attacker uses it to do something else?
Okay.
Since it's not encrypted.
Yeah, that's I'll follow up on that. That is a legit issue that needs to be addressed. Yeah. So the HTTP, are you able to access it from home, or it's only accessible within the school internet?
It can be okay. You need to, when you're trying to log into the school internet, okay, so it's the school premises.
Internally. Okay, but still it's not secure even if it's within the network. Yeah. Okay. So those are some of the issues that the security engineers have to address if they already if we've already had that department, but we still don't have it. Yeah. These other guys are quite reluctant, and it's like, it's not my JD, and so they also just sit and watch. Yeah. So there's another question. Can you give some of the certification or examples one should have in order to prepare for cybersecurity job? There are lots of certifications in that you can take to to be proficient in cybersecurity. So in USIU we offer CEH, a Certified Ethical Hacker. That's one of them. But we also have CompTIA A+, I think. It's also a good one. Those are certificates that if you have not done anything in cybersecurity, that's a good place to start. You can pick any of those certifications. I also saw Google has one in cybersecurity. I can't remember the name. Yeah, and then we have advanced certifications you can also do along the way. But one thing I always tell people, if you want to do cybersecurity, at least ensure you have some background in networking, because at the end of the day, what are you securing? Just securing a network of things. If you're looking at applications, the applications are networked. One application talks to the other one, and in fact, those applications are hosted on the servers, and the servers are like part of the network, right? So having networking background is good. It helps you like easily understand the rest of the stuff. Another thing people try to avoid is have a little bit of software development skills. Be able to write some scripts or some shell scripts and stuff like that. Also at advanced levels, you might be required to do something like reverse engineering. Yeah, if you can't read code or you have issues with that, then you will find it very difficult. Yeah. So cybersecurity, to me, a cybersecurity engineer is someone who has general skills from cutting across network, software development, and so on and so forth in the field of IT generally. So yeah, there's a lot of work there. Yeah. Okay, do you have any other question? So generally, those are the major areas you might want to, delve into going into the future. So if you don't have any question, I'll say thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you learned a thing or two.
Thank you, Sebastian. I think we ran out of time. This was supposed to end at 1:20. Already 1:23, 3 minutes past time. Carol, is she there?
Oh, yeah. So thank you so much, Sebastian. Thank you, Abdi. Just a few things we need to announce.